I know that many in Louisville and across the Commonwealth and country have been anxiously awaiting the completion of our investigation into the death of Miss Breonna Taylor.
The above-named defendant, Brett Hankison, committed the offense of wanton endangerment in the first degree.
After hearing the evidence from our team of prosecutors, the grand jury voted to return an indictment against Detective Hankison for 3 counts of wanton endangerment for wantonly placing the 3 individuals in apartment 3 in danger of serious physical injury or death. The charge of wanton endangerment in the first degree is a Class D felony, and if found guilty, the accused can serve up to 5 years for each count. The use of force by Mattingly and Cosgrove was justified to protect themselves. This justification bars us from pursuing criminal charges in Miss Breonna Taylor's death.
No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
As a attorney general who is responsible for all 120 counties in terms of being the chief legal officer, the chief law enforcement officer, I understand that. I understand that as a black man, how painful this is. And which is why it was so incredibly important for make sure that we did everything we possibly could to uncover every fact. Obviously, again, the criminal law is not meant to respond to every sorrow and grief, and that is true here. But my heart breaks for the loss of Miss Taylor. Evidence shows that officers both knocked and announced their presence at the apartment. The officers' statements about their announcement are corroborated by an independent witness who was near in proximity to apartment 4. In other words, the warrant was not served as a no-knock warrant. Sergeant Mattingly saw the man's gun fire, heard a boom, and immediately knew he was shot as a result of feeling heat in his upper thigh. My job is to present the facts to the grand jury, and the grand jury then applies those facts to the law. If we simply act on emotion or outrage, there is no justice. Mob justice is not justice. Justice sought by violence is not justice.
In the announcement, he described the investigation, but he talked about information, facts, evidence that neither I nor the general public have seen. I believe that the public deserves this information.
A woman, black woman, was killed in her home by the agency paid for to protect and serve her. That's wrong. There is no justifying that. And it does call on us to change laws, to lift up Breonna's law, but to do so much more in accountability and reimagining public safety in a true sense, which is not simply more and more law enforcement being called on to be everything public safety, We have to do that work if we really want to honor Breonna.
I've been living in America for over 50 years. So, and America been sending out the same signal to me since I was born. No justice for anybody that looks like me.
Protect black women! Protect black women! Protect black women!
I'm here today to make sure that you understand something, America. I'm ashamed of you again. You heard what they said, Black Lives Matter. But the thing is important. Why am I out here fighting for my human rights? But America, guess what? You didn't surprise me at all. You're the same America that you were in 1865, when you emancipated black people, that you are today. We cannot let you keep murdering our kids, our family members, and keep getting away with it. A slap on the wrist. We already knew it because you start preparing, you start blocking stuff. You blocking the community, boarding up. We already knew that's guilt. We know you guilty.
You will be arrested if you do not get out of the street.
Saddened, definitely, that a police officer could be charged for shooting bullets through her apartment, but not in her apartment. Breonna means so much to so many people because I have a daughter that could be Breonna. I would like to see people in leadership, be it locally, county, city, and state leadership that actually care about the people that live in this state and in this city.
If you and I walk into our house and we accidentally kill 3 people, whether the bullet went through a wall or something, we would be charged at a minimum with manslaughter. You're looking at the people and all the police out here, and if they can take this much time and this much of their resources to put down barricades and set up downtown for 3 days prior to the verdict, then they should have erred on that side and used that much of abundance of caution on a no-knock warrant, made sure that body cameras were installed, and the public has completely lost trust of the people that are supposed to protect and serve us. And not to mention, most of these people don't actually live in our neighborhood, so it's not as if these are my neighbors or I understand like, hey, Officer Cindy, or no. So I don't know what else people are supposed to do. My grandparents always said, you know, if you keep on turning cheek after cheek, you're in an abusive relationship. So you tell me, what are people supposed to do when the people that are supposed to be publicly protecting and serving them aren't? What's our no justice, no peace? So Breonna Taylor could be any of us. And the frustrating part that I think most of us, white, black, Hispanic, realize is that like we can't live in a police state in the United States in 2020. And we have to make police departments and police unions liable when they mess up. And this time was a gross miscarriage of justice.
I live on the street. I've lived here for almost 40 years. I lived through the Vietnam War, all the killings and things that have happened over all these years. I never would have thought this kind of thing would be in my neighborhood. I can sympathize and empathize with people who have lost so many, and I think it's just had enough. I'm afraid for our country. I'm afraid for what's going to happen after this election.